Hi everyone, I'm just doing the second part of the session for you on more recoding. So this is recoding for when you have got any variables that you are using to create a composite variable and they've been framed the wrong way around. So you just need to sort of flip the coding. So let me just share my screen. So this is where we got to in the session. We talked about how in our example data set, we've got these three variables that we're using to measure self-efficacy. And two of the questions are framed the wrong way around, question 15 and 44. So we need to recode those. And just like with the other example of the recode, I suggest that you write down how you want to recode it. So in this case, we've got the way it's coded at the moment, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And because we're just completely reframing it, you change it around so your coding becomes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So if you write that down on a scrap of paper and also the questions that you want to do your recode on, in our case, that's 15 and 44. So if we now go to our data file, I'll show you how to do that. So we go just like before to transform and recode into a different variable. Reset it if you've got it as anything from before. So we've got a sort of clean dialog box. And we find question 15. Put that across into the central box. And then we say what we want to call this new one. So we'll call this Q15 code. Of course, you can call it anything you like, just whatever is going to make sense to you. You can always put a little description in the label if you want to add something else to remind you what that one was for or what you created there. Click on change. So you've now got in your dialog box that you're changing question 15 to something new and you're calling that question 15 recode. And in old and new values, you follow what you write on your bit of paper. So 1 goes to 5. 2 goes to 4, 3 stays as 3, 4 goes to 2, and 5 goes to 1. I usually just check down the box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 becomes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that's correct. Continue and OK. And if you look to the end of the data file now, you'll see that we've got this new variable, question 15 recode. And if you compare it to your question 15 before, you can see the numbers have changed. So whereas before we had a 2, we've now got a 4, which is correct. And where we've got a 1 here in question 15, we've now got a 5, which is correct. The only reason we've got zeros on the end there is because just by default it does that. If you want to be tidy, like I sometimes do, you can always come over to your variable view and where you've got 2 decimal points, just change it. And now it looks the same. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll do the same one for question 14. And rather than reset it, I'm just going to move the variable back over. You'll see why in a minute. And then 44 there. And we're going to call that Q44 underscore recode. Sometimes it's quite easy to forget to click on this change button here. So if you're trying to get it to make the change and this button down here is grayed out for OK, then just check that you've actually clicked on change at the top there. The reason I didn't reset it is because it does remember the last thing you put in the dialog box. So you'll see if I just click on old and new values, it's retained what we had in there before. So I haven't got to bother putting that in again. And we just click on OK. And now we've got our question 44. Again, I'm going to be pedantic and just change that. Okay, so that's how to do that. And then the next stage is to create your composite variable. And we to do this, just simply add up the scores for all of the variables that we're using to create our composite variable of self-efficacy. And we're going to use a different command this time, which is compute. And if you remember, we've got one variable in the set of 3 that is the right way around, and that's question 16. So we want to collect the compute using the unchanged variable 16 and our new recoded 15 and 44. And this is how we do it. Click on transform and compute. And then you say what you want your new variable to be called. I'm going to call it SC for self-efficacy and composite. And then you just select the variables you want and you put in the numerical expression. This is a nice simple one. So we'll do question 15 plus question 16 that we didn't change. Where's that there? And question 44. And click on OK. And now we've got our new composite. And if you want to do a little double check, you could always add up some numbers. So we've got 15 recoded is a 4, plus 16 is another 4, plus 44 is a 5, and that makes 13, which is correct. So I usually take a couple of random rows and just check that the score I'm expecting is correct. It just reveals any kind of errors you might have made in the numerical expression, although it's pretty simple in this case. So yeah, that was it. The only thing I was going to show you, actually, you probably know how to do this, but sometimes it's not that useful to have the question numbers across the top. I mean, you might like that. The question numbers might be quite familiar to you from the survey, but in case you didn't realise, you can quite easily change those. So for example, with our self-efficacy ones, you could always change question. So 15, you could change it to SE1, for example, and then 16, SE2, 44, SE3. It's up to you. You could even add on the end the question number it was before. Whatever. Anyway, it's very easy to change them, just that they become something that's a bit more meaningful. So yeah, go through and change those if you want to, or just leave them as they are. Yeah, that's it. So as always, if you're stuck in any way, then let me know. Happy to help. Okay, bye.